cities are defined by their downtowns.
We wanted this block to have a live, work, and play type environment.
If we were going to do it, go all the way, or do it right, or don't do it at all.
We can think in a different way that's going to give you a really unique and special result.
We are going to build a park, and we're going to build a remarkable park and not some little postage stamp of a park.
To have an amenity as attractive and as large and detailed as this has really continued to fuel the development and redevelopment of downtown.
Imagine the most incredible park that you and I together can think of, and that's not going to be good enough.
This is the net result of an immense amount of effort.
What we have is something I couldn't have imagined. It will change forever what downtown Cary is.
Whenever I booked the theater, I would book the theater and I'd book Marcus Drive, but I'd always put bookable, but check with Sarah first, performance in the theater.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I grew up close to downtown off Waldo Street, which is like a couple of blocks from the park. Remembering what this area was when I grew up and seeing what it has become is pretty exciting and pretty unbelievable. At 5 o'clock, downtown didn't exist. Everybody went home, shut off the lights, and there was nothing going on. So there was a goal to buy properties on the block where we're having the Downtown Cary Park. And the idea was to have a very small park and create economic development opportunities on this block. I think Don France was one of the first ones that suggested, hey, if you build something special, then economic development will happen around you.
We look at this as an investment in our community and an investment in you. And it doesn't take a CPA or a rocket scientist or anybody to just look around and see that these investments are paying dividends for our community for generations to come.
1, 2, 3. People come to cities and go to their downtowns. This is going to be an iconic park for decades to come. People are going to come here from all over to see this thing and experience it. And then also while they're here, check out the Arts Center and stroll Academy Street and Chatham and, go to our restaurants and stay in the hotels and just come to downtown Cary and stay a while and see it.
98, 99, there was a staff-led committee. We walked between the houses within the quadrant of Park Street and Walker and Academy and Walnut. The edges of the quadrant were all developed, but once you got between, it was all undeveloped. You could almost see the park. Council approved the town center area plan, very conceptual, but we used it to define how big the park might be, but also to get approval from council to begin buying land. And so literally by 2001, we started purchasing property.
The town council could have looked at this and put a traditional type park in this place. It'd have been, nice and people would have come. Instead of doing that, they thought a lot bigger and they thought broader. This project is just the next step for the town in thinking a little bit differently than we have in the past and just seeing where that can take us.
This is about the center of the site where the Great Lawn will be. And what you'll be doing is you'll be walking up to the Academy Pavilion. You'll be walking in to the nest area, which is the children's play area. You'll sort of walk down a path that will come through the park that will have seating areas, etc.
When you're walking along, you can't see from point A to point B exactly. You're going to have to wander along through the botanical gardens and discover things. And I think that's part of the magic of it.
The town had been acquiring land for decades with the idea that there would be some sort of park down here. In early 2016, the final decision had been made to do a 7-acre park.
I remember having thoughts, that's a huge gamble. If we have spent millions of dollars trying to get these properties, and now we're just going to build a park and hope that things happen because we build a park.
When the conversations about possibly reducing the scale and scope of the park to develop the site started cropping up, people started getting upset because, you know, hey, we've been patient, you made us a promise, and that now you're going to renege on that promise and prioritize economic development and future citizens over those of us who have lived here for decades and have been patient.
So we worked very hard to try to make the park more aspirational, and started bringing the council in, and then started bringing the citizens in, and it just kept building upon what you see today.
I knew that if you're trying to incent the private sector to come in and redevelop and bring wonderful things and amenities and shopping and restaurants and dining and all the cool things that we wanted in downtown, this park was going to be a catalyst for that. We didn't need to build that here on this site because if we built the park, it was going to happen around it.
The town's investing the money with this iconic park. Kind of makes it a no-brainer for us to try to come down here. A community needs to be able to adapt if it wants to stay relevant in the future. And two of the needs we have right now for our current community are denser, greener development. And stuff like this answers that. But it also is going to give, with more housing stock down here, it gives the opportunity for more people to come down here, raise a family, live or work, walk around, hang out, support the local businesses.
As you see going through the last few years and coming up in the next few years, one development after another, they're all integrated well, I think. They're all integrated so that it creates this life, work, balance, play kind of thing. So we feel like that we're going to fit right into that. And I think most of the businesses that are integrated into that plan have the same kind of expectations.
We have definitely made a lot of decisions going forward with how we can really create more connectivity with the park, creating a seating area where you could be up above and a part of the action down there, especially on nights when there's performances in the amphitheater. We felt like creating a viewing point, a perch, if you will, on our terrace looking back to the park would be a nice experience for our customers and for folks over there to see and be able to come and migrate this way to enjoy.
Interesting thing about this building you can see back here that's being constructed is it doesn't really have a front or a back. And that was intentional how the architects laid it out. So there's not really oh, this is the back, you shouldn't come to this, because when it fronts onto Academy Street, that's your welcome. And there's a porch over here. And then when you go on the other side, it opens into the park, and that's your welcome into the park. So it's really kind of a multi-sided, big, giant, welcoming building.
It's attracted a tremendous amount of economic development, both on the retail and restaurant side, single family, multifamily, and then companies have wanted to locate their company in downtown because of the park. And so I think it's going to be something that will continue on for quite some time. Just the ambiance of the park and the type of amenity it is, companies want to be around that. They want their employees to have those opportunities.
This park will be iconic. So our charge was go out and get the best, top-notch consultants, architects, civil engineers, and then that was matched by our internal team. Everyone was committed to making this just an incredible park, an incredible experience for Cary citizens.
Start to see the scale of the Academy Pavilion, which is on Academy Street, being related to the houses, and also to the scale of the Phase 1 fountain, that it sets up this kind of rhythm of fairly low buildings along the street, and then the site drops away. You finally get the space to kind of make something larger, taller, bigger, without altering really the kind of condition of Academy Street.
The ambition that the town had for the park opened up doors for us to explore really interesting things as designers, both on the landscape side and on the architecture side. So the buildings and the forms and their shapes and the way in which they sit in the landscape are part of an idea about architecture that we can really dive in and deliver really unique and really special and meaningful architecture.
The Academy Pavilion I love because we sort of mixed and matched materials even though the architecture is very consistent, because the way it works structurally actually changes as it goes, so it was better for us to go from concrete and it through into steel in some moments. It isn't a very standard way, the geometry is consistent, but it behaves different with the cantilevers that are coming off the ends.
It's such a gift to be able to work with the town, work with the community that's so passionate about this type of space, and help them, you know, realize this. So I think that's why public work is so special, is just the connection to the impact that it makes on the community.
Phase 1 of the original Downtown Park, which was 1 acre, and it included what is now our iconic fountain, and it had a little stage area and a little grass area, and that was really the beginning of the park.
It was really a starting point for us, where we took this curvature of the first phase and started an offshoot of that. And that extends into the park and extended into the design elements of the meandering pathways, the way that the trails accessibly traverse grade and topography. And then of course the kind of accentuation to the curvature of the architecture kind of fell into that design language and that idea.
Nothing feels too big from far away. It all feels like it's appropriately scaled, human scaled to the town.
Almost every building in here is round. That's kind of a shift for Cary in terms of architecture, and we have a town council that had a lot of courage to make this happen and to say, yes, we're going to step out and we're going to do something really special.
Cody, was the sky bridge, the sort of raised pedestrian bridge, in from a really, really early stage? Because I saw it when it was part of the overall picture.
I think a big part of that was the fact that, you know, we had this incredible asset of all of these trees that are legacy trees that many times on a project like this, it's a fight to save them and protect them. And from the get-go, the town they were adamant. They were with us. They were like, no, that's not even a question. Of course we're saving those trees.
Before we got started, there was an audit done of all the trees on the site because we had a lot of legacy trees on the site. So we knew this tree is this kind of tree, it's in decline, it's at the end of its life. So we had that audit. So the trees that had to come down because they were already in decline, we took to the kiln, we dried them, and now they're back on site as benches. So we tree cycled them. And then we have 36 legacy trees that are remaining on site, and we have spent a lot of time and care to make sure that they're healthy and that they survive the construction process, and they're doing well.
Something like this can't be done if it was one person's idea or one person. There is no such thing. You know, show me something that was done by one people or a small group of people. I'll show you something that really isn't all that important or ambitious.
We have to forklift the first one here, get it off the forklift, and then get the second one so they could crane it in.
They are unique.
I love it's a state bird.
Yeah, that's good.
All the things that are here, you know, the dog park, the bark bar, and the market, and the water features for the kids, and the kids' play area, and the fountain, and the pavilion, and the great, just all this stuff. And they crammed it into this and it works. It flows, and you don't feel like it's just all crowded up on you, you know? It's the design team, OJB, and everybody did a hell of a job. I mean, just knocked it out of the park.
When you think about how amazing this park is, that's just the physical component of what an amazing park is. The programming really makes it happen. And having a staff that's incredible in doing what they've done to this point, wanting to be a part, volunteering to be a part of this amazing park is pretty exciting. And will be known not only for an incredible park that's beautiful, but has some great entertainment as well as things for people to do.
Park After Dark's normally jazz, so it's a little more subdued. And then...
Would you block more?
I would probably take Town Square off the board for that.
Cool.
The amount of programming and the diversity of the programming that the park staff is going to offer the citizens of Cary is going to be tremendous. It's going to serve all age groups and all walks of life, and to have it at no cost or minimal cost is going to be incredible for all of our citizens, and it's something that I think everyone's going to take full advantage of.
Cary's starting the transformation phase, and this is one of the key components to that transformation phase, is having this park, and I think it will make downtown Cary special for a very long time.
I think it's a real aggressive but very tastefully done downtown development project. And if you go to other towns in the South especially, you'll see similar things going on, but I think the town of Cary has just taken a lot more real estate and pulled that into the plan and created more opportunity for more people to be a part of that.
We see new homes happening here on Walker Street, new townhomes being built on Park Street. And I think that's a lot of positive energy that's happening because of the development of this downtown park. It says a lot about the vision of the people of the town of Cary and what they're doing here to build the downtown character.
When we first got here, there wasn't much there, right? It was just kind of a big open field. Our neighbor, when we were looking at this house, they're like, you have to come here because this is all going to be an amazing park, restaurants, retail, and we wanted to be in a downtown. We lived in the burbs for a long time, and this is something we really, really wanted.
It is a sense of community to have a central location where you can go and meet your friends and bring your dog, and that's all new. There wasn't much going on in Cary. It was a bedroom community to Raleigh, right? And now it can kind of make a name for itself.
As a father's perspective, I have 3 girls. I think that playground and play area right there is going to be great, right? It's just going to attract a lot of families, there's going to be a lot of kids, there's going to be a lot of excitement here. So yeah, I think from a business perspective, this facing my property is great. From a dad perspective, yeah, my kids can come here and spend all day here and they probably won't get bored.
It didn't work, the roar didn't work. Goslings always follow their mother.
To say that today's event is a monumental moment in Cary's history is an understatement. We're gathering here to celebrate something pretty special, our signature architectural marvel.
When I tell other elected officials how much money we spent on creating this park, they're astounded because that's like a bond project for all their parks put together. But this is going to be iconic, and this is what represents what Cary stands for.
The downtown park is the proudest day of my life as a member of the council.
There's lots of buzz and excitement about, I think, just all the new energy that it's bringing. People are coming from all over. People have asked me who don't live in Cary, am I excited? And I'm like, I am, because I can walk there.
There's no place in the park that's off limits. There's no place in the park that you feel unsafe. There's no place in the park that you feel like you've ended up in the wrong part of the park because that's where the service yard is or that's where some other functional element is.
With the library there and the restaurants and all the stuff, it's like a one-stop destination, and like you can be like where restaurants and stuff are, but still be in like a environment that's a little bit more like nature. You can walk around and hang out and spend time with your family.
This is surrounded on all edges by activation and to be enjoyed.
Love the park. I mean, it's such a cool place to hang out. It's so interactive. I think that's my favorite part about it. There's something you can do in each of the sections of the park. It's not just like you walk around and you see cool stuff. You can actually like do things like play ping pong or rock climb or hang out with your dogs. It's really cool.
Word has already traveled fast. within the community and certainly the business community, and that leaks out into other areas. So I think this will be a destination for people from all over the country once they hear about the type of park that we have.
It's almost like gives you a feel of like Central Park or Lincoln Park in Chicago or Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. So it's pretty cool to see it, yeah. She agrees, yeah.
Bring your kids, play, get something to eat, go take in a show, see a just come stay a while. I hope that when it's time to leave, they don't want to leave, you know?
I like how they built things vertically. That kind of makes it more open and spacious, and yeah, it's really cool. I love all the structure.
You're looking at 23 years of planning effort from the very beginning to this point. It's kind of a cool journey to see it finished.
Every few steps you take, you're experiencing like a different vibe and environment. Like one side, you got a lot of interactive stuff, and then a lot of stuff you can just kind of look at and enjoy.
I think 5 to 10 years, it's going to be like my daughter got engaged there. You know, my son had his birthday party at the Nest. It's going to be those memories, and that's what we're really trying to do here. We are trying to make memories.
What does it look like in my generation? What does it look like for the next generation? How's this going to look in 50 years? How's this going to look in 100 years? This park will live a very, very long time and be a catalyst 100 years from now for making people want to come here to live, work, and play.